Hi friends. So today I have collected the interview question for that Power Automate. Okay. So mostly means for the experience who have more than 5 years plus. So mostly the scenario based interview question is asked with them. Right. So we should be ready accordingly that. Okay. So here let's discuss question one by one. So this is the first question. Here the interviewer can ask you to know about what is your knowledge about the approval process. So they can ask means how you can design the multi-step approval process and how you handle the workflow to ensure it progress only if the all the previous approvals have given their consent. So here, what should be your answer? So here, your answer should be you means we will use the approval action that is already provided by the Power Automate, and we will configure it accordingly to sequential approval. Okay, and here I will set up a condition to check the approval status of each step. Okay, and whenever the flow progresses, it will verify if all previous approvers have approved the request or not. So this would be the answer. Let's discuss next question. Suppose you need to integrate the Power Automate with external REST API. So here the interviewer want your knowledge that how you are going to integrate the REST API with the Power Automate. Okay. So here we need to define the multiple steps means what we will follow to design the Power Automate flow. So in the Power Automate flow, we need to use it a custom connector. Okay, we will create a custom connector for the API. Here we need to configure the connection details, and we need to do the setup of the authentication. So authentication can be OAuth, API key, or etc. So after that we need to call the HTTP action. Okay, so here we will make the request to the API for getting the data, and we need to handle the response whatever we will receive from the API. Okay, whenever the automated flow will be get triggered, and we also need to handle the errors here appropriately. Here you have a document library that requires the versioning. So here interviewer want to know means how do you create the Power Automate flow that triggers whenever a new version of document is added. Okay, so means they want to ask means whenever new document is getting uploaded there in the document library, how the our flow will behave. Okay, so here we will first use the trigger when a file is created or modified. Okay, so on that we need to add the condition if there is any change in the version. Okay, and if this condition is true, then we need to execute the whatever necessary action. Okay, after uploading the file in the document library means the necessary action can be like sending the notification or updating the other record on the base of that. Next question is here. Interviewer want to know about the how you can handle the errors in your automated flow, and how do you log the whatever the success or failure you are receiving from the Power Automate flow. So there is a feature configure run after provided in the Power Automate. Okay, you can utilize that one. Okay, so you can say means I would use the configure run after feature to create conditional path based on the success or failure. So for each action we can use this configure run after. Okay, if there is a success then it's good, then it will jump to the next action. Okay, and if there is a failure then you can log the errors in on your SharePoint list, or you can call the compose action to store the error detail at any other place. So it means here we can use mostly the handling if in the this is the SharePoint case. Okay, then we use the stores the error in the SharePoint list for the analysis purpose. The next question is you need to migrate the data from the Excel spreadsheet to Microsoft Dataverse table by using the Power Automate. So how you will create the flow for that? Okay. So here there are two actions we need to use. First one is the list row present in the table. Okay. and second one is a create a row action for the Excel and Dataverse. Okay, so for the Excel, basically this action you will get list represented in the table, and for the Dataverse you will find that create a row action in the Power Automate. Okay, so we need to map the fields and handle if any data transformation is needed during the migration from the Excel to Microsoft Dataverse. Next question is describe a scenario where parallel processing is necessary in Power Automate flow. So here basically they want to know how much we have the knowledge about the parallel processing and how the parallel branches are created there. Okay, so it is required when when you need, it is a requirement for the bulk data processing. Okay, so in case of the bulk data processing is required, okay, so we can use the apply for each or control apply for each action for the parallel processing. Okay, so it will handle the multiple items simultaneously. Okay, so you don't need to bother the processing for the item one by one. Okay, in a parallel way you can process the multiple item in one go. So here create a Power Automate flow that runs on a daily schedule to identify and delete outdated records in a SharePoint list. So here the requirement is in a SharePoint list we have multiple records, and we want means after a specific time period the old one record gets deleted from the there. Okay, so in the Power Automate we will use the get item action. The get item basically fetch whatever data we need to delete. Okay, then once we receive all the data that need to delete, we can call the delete item action after that. Okay, so once you will call the delete item action, it will delete all the outdated records. Okay, and after that you can schedule that flow to run on daily, weekly, monthly, okay, accordingly to your need. Explain how would you use Power Automate to send an adaptive card to Microsoft Teams whenever a specific trigger event occur. So sometimes this type of requirement came. Okay, means if something is happening, then you need to send a adaptive card to Microsoft Teams. So basically the most users use the Microsoft Teams, okay, on the day by day service. So whenever any action will get happen, immediately they will receive adaptive card and they will be aware about it. So the answer should be there is action post an adaptive card to a Teams user and wait for a response. So in this, what we will do? Firstly, the post adaptive card and whatever action will be required from the user whenever the user responds, so it can also be captured there. Okay, so here you need to configure the card content and handling the response in subsequent action based on the user action. So whatever response you want to handle, you need to write the action item for that. Here in the next question you need to automate the processing of information from the scanned form using AI builder in Power Automate. So here what happens, some documents are get scanned, okay, and the requirement is that they want the use of the AI builder to automate that one or capture that data in some list or some other software like Excel, right? So you can use the Power Automate AI Builder capability here. Okay, so firstly you need to create a model and you need to use the process and extract information from form action in the Power Automate. So this action is very important. Okay, and you after that you can map the extract data to relevant field or process within the flow. Suppose in the form you are getting tail fields in the scan form, okay, and so in a similar way, and you want to store that data in a SharePoint list, so in a similar way you need to create the SharePoint list and with that 10 fields there. Okay, and one by one mapping you can define there in that action. So by this way you can save the data from the scanned form to SharePoint list. Suppose there is a situation where there is no existing connector for a proprietary system, means you don't have any existing connector. So how would you go about creating a custom connector in the Power Automate? So here the interviewer want to ask means how you will create the custom connector in the Power Automate. So you just need to tell them that how you would use the Power Automate connectors SDK to define the connector schema, and you need to define the authentication method, you need to define the actions. Okay, and after creating the custom connector, it should be registered, and after that you can utilize that one in your Power Automate. So here our 10 question get completed. So thanks for watching, friends. Okay, you can go through, you can save this video for further if you want to go through each question. Okay, and I will try to add multiple questions and on the multiple topics. Whatever topic you want, you can just write down in the comment and I will do research on that. I will gather the interview questions or whatever the important concept from there. Okay, and if you want this question in the Word or PDF format, then you can also comment on that. So please subscribe my channel to get more updates. Okay, so thank you so much.